People watching. Not four. Oh, we doubled our audience that quick. This on my face.
Welcome to Stirring the Pot with Lou Marconi and Johnny Cleveland. Part of the Fanatical L's Network, Fans First. Join us now. Hey, good evening. Good evening, Lou.
Good evening. It's a Monday and it's cold. It feels like February when it's actually April.
How warm is it up there in Cleveland?
It was 30 degrees and snowing.
Nice. And snow?
It was snowing. Oh yeah, it was snowing. I live in the snow belt. I live.
Yes.
I live in
So
Geauga
is there snow
County.
like on the ground?
Yep. Yeah,
Man.
not on the roads, but it was like if there's grass and everything. Yeah, and if your car's been in the parking lot, you could just it'll melt off in a minute, but it's not a big deal.
Right.
Nothing major. Like
Welcome
maybe
to April in Ohio.
yeah. Then tomorrow there's the home opener.
Yes.
And it could be record cold. I think the coldest was 2007.
Okay.
It was 2007. I think it was against the Mariners.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was like 34 degrees. And the forecast is about that tomorw.
Okay.
When
did it snow? Was that the day that it snowed a lot?
Yeah. That Paul was it? That wasn't Shuey. It was Paul Bird. Was one pitch away, one strike away from a perfect game, an official game. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they called it?
They called it before that final pitch. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. He would have had a perfect
I do
game.
vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Before I forget, happy birthday to my son, Alec.
Oh, happy birthday, Alec.
And also to my Kara, my daughter's boyfriend, Reggie. They both have the same birthday today. So happy birthday to both of them. Yep. And so April 7th is a good day here in our family. So
April 7th.
And thanks for tuning in, guys, to us here on the Fanatical L's Network, part of Fans First Sports Network.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably watching us on Lou's feed or on our feed here on the Fanatical L's.
Check out the sponsor, Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. Click on the link, order some coffee, tell them Lou sent you.
And we really need you to listen to us. I know you love our beautiful faces here, but we really need you to listen to us.
I didn't get hired for my looks, you know that.
And hey, comment if you have comments, and I know some of you are listening and watching right now. Comment and we'll answer your questions as we get into this today. I was talking to Lou. We were talking off air before we started. This is the Browns podcast, and earlier today, the Fans First group at the network. They're those folks. They had us do a mock draft, and they asked me to make the pick. I don't know if you saw it, Lou, but I had the Browns first pick. The Titans took Cam Ward, and then I had us taking Shadir Sanders.
Yeah, I was taking Sanders with the second pick.
I'm still in that thinking that they're going to take Sanders. However, Lou, I did write an article today and yesterday for Fans First that the Browns in this other mock I did would take Travis Hunter. He seems to be the hot name, the flavor of the week.
Yeah,
Travis Hunter. And I wanted your take on that right now, because I think, and I said this to you off air,
right,
that this is all going to spin back to the final two quarterbacks, Cam Ward and Shadir Sanders. And I know some people don't even want to even fathom that the Browns would consider taking someone like Shadir Sanders. But I'll say this, Lou. I listened to another podcast locally here recently. I think the Dog Check, the two guys there in one of the programs this weekend. And they both had a lot of good things to say in their opinions about Shadir Sanders. And I think that ultimately in 2 weeks, when the draft comes up, that it's going to spin back to those two guys, and the Browns they'll either take whoever's there. If it's Cam Ward, if he's not taken by the Titans, then I think they take Cam Ward. If the Titans take Cam Ward, then I believe the Browns are going to take Shadir Sanders. I think that's what's going to happen. All this other stuff that's been happening, I want your opinion on it with Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter and everything. I just think it's just part of the screen. I just think I think the national media and the local people just have run out of stuff to talk about.
Oh, we always give them stuff to talk about, don't we? Like the Bonnie Raitt song. Let me just say this. Yeah, like let's give them something to talk about. All right, here we go. Okay, but first and foremost, whoever they draft, I want to succeed, whether it's Carter, Hunter, or Sanders. I want them to succeed. Wearing a Browns uniform, I'm rooting for their success. I'm really not in anybody's camp on that. Mm-hmm. If the Browns do their due diligence and do their scouting and film and everything, and they think the guy at number 2 to take is quarterback Shedeur Sanders, he's our guy, he's going to get taken. Mm-hmm. But he'll be the opening day starter. They're going to put him in and start him right away if he's taking it too.
And I think he'll be ready. I know some people think that that's ridiculous to say it, but I think he's. Yeah,
okay. I'm not 100%. He might be. Yeah, he might be. But that's what I think they're going to do. I don't know if that's if they do take him. Then there's no Kirk Cousins trade. Is that possible? I mean, they could possibly. They're not. Why trade for Kirk Cousins if you spend a second overall pick on a quarterback? So right. If that does happen, I watched the podcast. It was Quincy Carrier and Kolb. He was Q and Kolb, and they were talking about being on Milrow Island, and they're thinking the same thing I was. Where, because the other thing now is that they're going to take Jalen Milrow from Alabama because Tommy Rees was his offensive coordinator at Alabama when they were in the college football playoff against Michigan, and he did really well with Tommy Rees. He's a very gifted athletic quarterback with his legs, especially.
Yes, he's got a lot of yards rush. Yep.
4.39 40 is what he ran.
He's a super athlete.
Yeah, he's a super. Now he would be a project though if they drafted him. He's not an opening day starter. The rumor was no. The rumor was that they would trade up from 33 to 32, give up like a 7th round pick next year, swap spots with the Eagles, and take him and you have 5 years control, and then you give him a year just to kind of redshirt him and learn, or at least because what's going to happen. They take him and say we get a veteran quarterback, whoever it is, and depending on how the team is doing or how the offense is doing, you should say, then you're going to hear calls. We should start him. We got to play him. We got to play, because that happens everywhere. That happens all the time. I was on the Abdul Carter thinking they were going to take him. Sure. But then hearing the buzz this week, he goes, oh, it might be Hunter. I don't know. I think I would be fine if they took Hunter or Carter. I know they're going to take a quarterback, just don't know where. I agree. They're going to draft a quarterback. I would say within the first 2 picks. I'm praying to God it's not Jackson Dart. I could see them picking Milrow with Tommy Rees as a coordinator and figuring they can develop and work with them and get them going. I can see that. I can understand that. I can see the plan there. I can also see Shedeur Sanders at second if they think he's worth it, if they think they value him at that high on their board. So it depends. They're not giving away anything. So a lot of this is pure speculation.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're in the Shedeur Sanders camp. You always have been. I'm fine. I respect that. You're entitled to say whatever you want. You have your reasons for it. And I think it's going to be, a fun night. I'm going to go see Journey.
Right. That's part of the discussion here with Shedeur Sanders, in my opinion, because I think, what's his face this morning on 850 talked about it.
Tony Rizzo.
Tony Rizzo was talking about with Tony Grossi and everybody, and Rizzo. And I just caught the clip, but basically he's saying what I'm saying is that people don't like Sanders because it's Sanders, because he's
the Dion, the prime time, the cameras,
right, and that it's just this bad vibe that people just don't like, and it borders just because of your distaste for somebody's personality, and thus this kid carries, or he's very his Shedeur speaks very positively. He's very confident in himself. Not unlike his dad used to be, but then you hear other stories that suggest that he's one of the nicest, most character kids that has gone through the University at Colorado. There haven't been any real negative reports. He's not
He's not
running
a
around.
partier. He's not a
No,
Johnny
no,
Manziel.
you're not hearing any of that, or
Not
even
a
like
Baker Mayfield.
right, Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield had the one thing in Arkansas, I think it was, when he got tackled by the cop, but that was like a one-time incident. I'm hearing the thing about, I think it's because of all that the drama that came with Watson. I think we're just burned out by it. We just want a quarterback that's not going to bring drama. We just want a guy that's going to win games.
Mhm.
That's what I think it is. I don't tell me if you think so, if you don't see it that way. That's just me psychoanalyzing.
I see it that way a little bit. I see
Mhm.
exactly. I can see that part. I also think that there's just a part of this negativity is because of who he's associated with, and it ties into what you just said. And so we'll see. I don't know. Like if Cam Ward is there, and let's say both somehow end up being there. I doubt it, but let's say the
Who would
Titans.
Tennessee take first over either the
Well, let's
Hunter
say
or
or Abdul Carter.
okay? I have
And then
I've heard nothing of that happening, but go ahead. But yeah,
what if the Titans took Shadir Sanders? Would that be a shock?
yes, I'm almost everything I've been hearing and seeing saying,
Who do you think's most ready to quarterback in the NFL? Because that's been debated too. Like who's more prepared on day
on day
one,
Ward
Ward
one,
or Sanders?
probably Ward. I would
Okay.
think. You just yeah.
I agree, but then some people, the way that they've been analyzing it, they think that Sanders would be more prepared to go because I don't know, just because he's been in the system that he's been playing in. Anyway, okay, so let's say they don't take either of these people, and then you saying that like the hot name this week, like Milroy Island or Milroy, and then Jackson Dart. People are saying that those two are in that next category of
and there's not much of a drop off between the two of him and Sanders. There's even rumors of Sanders drops. Say like we take either Carter or Hunter and Sanders drops, we could trade up.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've seen that, yeah.
I've heard of that too. So a lot could happen.
So the fact that they said that Milroy has been invited to the draft, I saw that today.
He has been?
Yes.
That he could go. I mean, all right. The thing is, there was rumors I was hearing because it's somebody. I saw a podcast that was interesting comparing Pittsburgh and Cleveland, their situations with quarterbacks. It's very similar. That because they only have Mason Rudolph, and we have Kenny Pickett, and Pickett's better than Rudolph. Just, he is
right.
He's younger too. But they don't see both teams opening day starters being Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph.
No,
I just don't see that. And they said the Steelers and Browns are probably going to draft the quarterback early, and they're going to bring in a veteran. That's probably what the plan is. And the rumor was Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. And I'm like scratching my head, like it depends.
That is stalled. It looked like that was going to happen a week and a half ago, and then it's sort of tempered. Speaking of that, Nick Chubb, is that just? Are we waiting till the draft now, probably to see who they draft?
The longer he goes without signing, the more likely he'll come back. I think that's what I've been hearing too. So they're just letting him test it out there. We'll bring him back. We're not going to insult him, and he'll probably share carries with the guy we draft, whether it's Ibuka, Judkins, Henderson, Caleb Johnson, or Hampton.
I hadn't had. Well, let me ask you. Okay, so let's just stick to the running backs. So I did this mock, and I guess that was the thing. I talked about Hunter today, but
Travis Hunter.
Travis
now,
Hunter.
would he be a guy that's going to play both ways, or is he just going to be a receiver?
See, I would start him at a receiver.
Yeah,
and maybe
we need a receiver.
I want him as a receiver, and and I think some people have said that he's just a mediocre receiver. I'm like, no, I don't. He's at top.
No,
he's not the very best one in this class, but he's certainly up there. I mean,
he's a special player. He's a special type of. He's an impact guy. He's an impactful type of player to have. Absolutely.
Well, if we take him, I actually took I had another guy. So let's see. A lot of people have been talking about Abdul Carter, right?
Right.
Everybody that seems like you were even talking about it last week. You thought Abdul Carter should be, would be a good pick. But Abdul Carter's history at Penn State, if you go back and look at it, I mean, yeah, he's had some. He had a very good this last year, but the previous 2 seasons he wasn't like knocking it out of the park. And when I compare him to somebody, people are talking about him being a generational. I hate this term, but they use it all the time now. This generational player, and I compare him to somebody like Myles Garrett, who's currently a Cleveland Brown and played at Texas A&M. His career was much more. You knew what you were going to get when you got Myles Garrett coming out of Texas A&M. There was just a more video, more film, more just presence that you could tell that Myles was going to be it. Now, I'm not in that same boat when it comes to Abdul Carter. Some people are just talking about him like he's going to be the next coming of Myles Garrett, and I don't see it. And so in my mock, I don't take Abdul Carter in this last one, but I actually took this edge rusher, Brandon Swinson from
I heard of him. Yeah.
Take a look at that film. I have actually the Browns taking him in the 3rd round at pick 67. And just put on the tape of this kid. He was in the backfield. You should see the game he played against Ole Miss and Jackson Dart. He got the dart 3 times. He sacked them. He was everywhere. And
he's an SEC player.
Yes.
LSU, you said, yeah. Okay.
And he's from LSU, and the Browns like LSU players. And I mean, I could see the Browns taking, Browns already have like Alex Wright coming back. They've got some other players on the edge that could come
Ogbo Okoronkwo, and who else? There's another guy. Is Isaiah Thomas?
Well, he's yes.
Yep. So they got a rotation. They got
Isaiah McGuire coming back.
Isaiah McGuire. That's who it was. Isaiah McGuire. That's who it was.
So I was just curious, like, in my mock, I took the Swinson kid because I think that, I'm watching Phil, and I know some people will disagree with me, obviously, because he's not as talented as Abdul Carter, supposedly, but I don't know.
I'm smiling because I think no matter who gets picked at 2 or late in the 1st or early in the 2nd, people are still going to be mad. Mm-hmm. There's people that are going to hate it. You're going to have your haters regardless. So you might as well just make the best decision you can. I just want to see him succeed. I wouldn't, if they take a quarterback, I understand why. If they take Abdul Carter, I understand why. If they take Travis Hunter, I understand why. I think it's one of those 3 guys. And we'll see what happens. Like I said, we're going to watch Journey the night before. I'm going to have some snacks, and we're going to be there. We're going to figure out.
Hey, I was going to ask you, how are you going to get there? Speaking of which, are you going? Rapid. Are you taking the Rapid?
Of course.
I'm at first. Okay, I get up to Cleveland, but since it's a Thursday night, is it okay to take the Rapid late at night, coming back from Terminal Tower?
I could do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I mean, just say it that way because I've done it before. I'm
curious to see what kind of crowd it'll be there that night, because all of us season ticket holders have been invited to come.
Yeah.
I'm expecting probably there'll be 40,000 people maybe.
Thursday morning I get the link, and Thursday at 3 is when I click on the link to claim the tickets for me. I think Sherry told me her time was different. I think her time is like Wednesday because they stay.
I think mine is Wednesday.
Yeah,
I think at 9 o'clock maybe.
And Ethan's going to be there too. Ethan's coming up.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, Ethan's taking Harvey's ticket. Yeah, Harvey can't go. Yeah, I'm happy to go.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I would drive downtown. I normally, because we did like Saturday, my daughter for her cheerleading, they had an event at the Rocket Arena for the Cavs. And what it was like the Healthy Kids YMCA type of thing. And she got the cheerlead down there, and the Cavs cheerleaders were there, and some Cavs mascots. And it was nice. I mean, it was fun. It was everything. But I parked downtown for that because we had free parking in a parking garage. And I was like,
right.
It was a Saturday morning. We got to be there by like 11:30. And
Okay.
it was a Saturday morning. It was like no traffic. It was easy.
Right.
It was no problem. So for that, I'll drive. I said,
Well,
we're not
that's
taking the rapid.
I'm trying to decide what I want to do for that night, but you're going to take the rapid. Okay.
Yeah, but I do it from the east side. I do it from Shaker Heights on Green Road. And I probably Sherry will too. I'll probably catch up with her and Matt. Yeah.
We'd be coming from the airport, my son and I.
Oh, you're coming from the west side? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, pretty soon. I mean, yeah, in about 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Well, this switch. We talked about this. Right now, I think you're in Columbus, so you might have more of a buzz on what's in the state legislature for the budget. It's in the budget for them to give the $600 million bond, which is a loan. It's a low interest
loan. Will that be
voted
on? Is that in June?
It'll be. If we'll know June 30th. And what Haslam said at the league owners meetings that surprised me was saying, well, if we don't get this, then we'll just renovate where we're at. And I'm like, what?
Right.
That surprised me. I'm like, after all this crap, you're going to do that?
Yes.
You couldn't come up with another 600 million from somewhere else that, you couldn't do it. Which that tells me I'm 85% certain it's going to pass through. It's going to.
Oh, for sure.
There's the proposal for Voinovich, not Voinovich, DeWines. Excuse me, Voinovich. Boy, I went back 30 years. DeWines, yes. Proposal for the increase, the doubling of the sports betting tax. That's not in it. So, but that was. Okay. I just said I'm pretty positive this is going to happen. It's I'm very optimistic it's going to, and even despite all the posturing and the politicians being politicians,
right? I think it has to. I mean, I just think it has.
Yeah, it's needed. It is much needed because it's like, okay, it's funny because with the people that are against it, and they're like, well, how much does it cost or what's going to happen? I said, well,
right.
Okay, let's take a step back. What we're at now, who's paying for where we're at now? Mm-hmm. It's taxpayers, all of it. Mm-hmm. That's all taxpayer money. Mm-hmm. And the place is falling apart. It's on a 93-year-old foundation. It's used 15 times a year. Mm-hmm. And this other place, you could have more dates, brand new state-of-the-art facility.
Yep.
And you're going to have more events, more dates, and actually more job opportunities for people. Mm-hmm. You care about the little guy. You care about opportunity to do things. So there's so much more that can be done for this city with the new place like that. And 2/3 of it is like, it's not the way they make it sound, and they're just posturing. That's all it is. That's the best way to put it. It's political posturing. So let them get their sound bites on the news.
Yeah. So much posturing with everything.
We talked about
in this draft. Yeah.
Go ahead. We want to keep going with the draft. Yeah, we can.
No, I think I think everyone has reached this point where they're just, it's beyond like the point of like, because people are just speculating. It's constant speculation. And the truth is we don't know exactly what's going to happen.
With the draft,
we could all be surprised. And I watched Draft Day. Guys. Draft Day was on, it's on Netflix. If anybody wants to watch it. I started watching it again last night with Kevin Costner. Kind of got me
Jennifer Garner.
Got me in the mood.
Dennis Leary was the head coach of the Browns.
That's right. So, by the way, the other real good movie with Kevin Costner is The League for Love of the Game, the baseball movie. Wonderful film where he throws the perfect game for the Detroit Lions, and it's like his last game, or the Detroit Tigers baseball team. So speaking of baseball, boy, are you concerned at all with the Guardians this point in the season? Someone was saying that they hadn't. Last year they had never been under 500, and now they're like 4-6 or 3-7 or something. So
look, yeah, that's it. Push the panic button.
Only 159 more games to
go. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like lighten up, Francis. We're fine. No, I don't even. I'm not covering the Guardians. I identify as a Cleveland Indians fan. So, so I tell people that they get mad. I'm like,
yes.
I said, no, stop it.
Yes.
I said, I told Elon Musk to buy the team and change the name back to Indians. So I'm not.
You're not worried.
No, I'm not even worried about the Cavs. Well,
let's talk about that because I know our buddy Ethan Greenberg is about ready to have a conniption.
Yeah, he needs.
He's very, very concerned.
He always is. You said we beat
Ethan,
Chicago
if you're watching
tomorrow night. With tomorrow night Chicago, right?
Well, except the thing is now is that Donovan Mitchell is not going to be playing because he's of the rolled ankle, and that's That's fine. And they got a 4-game lead over the Celtics
with 4 games to go.
play.
The Celtics lose a game, we win a game.
Yeah.
That's it. One of those two things.
Or if we win a game, then that's true.
Either we win a game or the Celtics lose a game.
Right. Is that right? If we win one, they could lock it. Well, now how does that? Wait a second. So if we win one, then
that's locked. That's it.
It's us, because do we hold the tiebreaker with them? That we would have to, if
I believe so, but it still needs that magic number. I believe so.
Right. The magic number is 1, so that can be any way we can get it. But I know a lot of people are in that panic mode. But I mean, Lou, you said it before we started. I mean, there's 62 wins and 16 losses or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've had a few more losses recently, and I know their style of play hasn't been exactly.
It's gotten a little sloppy. I will admit to that.
Sure.
And then stuff needs to be cleaned.
Season.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, do you think it's just because? I think it's personally because it's a long season and they're ready to get to the playoffs.
I think that too, and I also think that I think that you're gonna hear the argument once they do clinch, like rest versus rust. And like Donovan Mitchell needs rest because he's rolled his ankle. He needs to heal. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be guys that need to rest, and they just need to be ready. I think the key to it is when you have an inferior opponent in a playoff series, don't go 7 games. Beat them in 5. Yeah,
the other part that I was going to ask you, and this is more specific, like to the game, but it seems like some of the rotations or some of the players that he's been rolling with, Kenny Atkinson, it's been interesting because like Hunter the DeAndre Hunter kid, his minutes I thought he'd be playing more. Like last night's game, he had like 20 minutes, 22 minutes. He scored some buckets. Ty Jerome came in and supplied a lot of good punch and stuff. He had been out for a while. I'm not a big Ty Jerome fan, even though he scored 20. I know some people will say, well, he scored 20 points and everything. I don't have a lot of confidence in the kid. I just think that he's plays the game too loosey-goosey and can hurt us. But I guess my concern with the Cavs rotation right now is it seems like there's too many players and Atkinson is trying to figure out what that rotation might look like when you get to the postseason. I'm thinking
do you think he's tinkering is what he's doing? Is that be the good word to use?
Yeah, he's giving people it's the times and it's weird. My man Dean Wade, he gave him 3 minutes yesterday, and I know Dean's been sick and maybe but traditionally when Dean plays, that's the first game that I can think of that Atkinson only gave him 3 minutes. If he put him in, usually he's giving him 15 to 20 minutes. So I don't like I like Max Strus, but I don't think he's the best defender. There was a play also in the game last night where Ty Jerome, it was just careless defense along the baseline, and it allowed the kid from Sacramento to score or whatever. And I just that part of the game, and like you said, the Cavs don't seem to be doing everything as well as they had been. Yeah,
it seems sloppy. Is that a good way to do it? Sloppy.
Yeah, and Ethan, our colleague, is really concerned about that.
Yeah, he can be concerned all he wants. I understand. I understand that. There's also too. There was supposed to be like the technical foul got overturned by the league office.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I saw that on X. And did they ever like review that layup that shouldn't have been?
Oh, that was terrible.
And everybody was like, everyone's like, look, I mean, And then they overturned Donovan Mitchell's because
foot.
He stepped out of bounds. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. As soon as that happened, I'm like, all right, rigged.
Stupid.
Yeah. So
it was just. Well, the thing is, the Cavs have got to get by the Boston Celtics.
Well, they got to get to them first.
Right.
So, I mean, what you got to focus on where you're at now. Don't worry about the future.
Well, on the hot teams, like, you've got the Detroit Pistons who are playing really well with JB Bickerstaff.
They're doing well. Yeah.
I mean, Orlando Magic could be, is that who the Cavs would potentially play? Orlando?
I'd have to look. It depends on how the play-in tournament goes.
Okay.
I think that's how that determines. But I think right now, so nobody's commenting, which is fine. I don't mind. Let's see. Tomorrow night at 7, they play the Bulls. Yeah, okay. Let's see. NBA. Let me look at the standings, playoffs.
I think Boston and Cleveland.
It looks like Atlanta.
Oh, the Hawks who beat the Cavs twice at the beginning of the season, right?
They have. I remember 1988. We beat the Bulls all year, and then the Bulls beat us in a 5-game series, and the shot was the one that did it. Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember. It's like what?
Well, if we play the Hawks too, we're gonna have to play our former Karis LeVert and what's the other kid's name? We traded for DeAndre Hunter.
Oh yeah, was it Merrill? No.
Shoot, can't think of it right now.
Yeah, I know. It's Karis LeVert was one of them.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah.
See what happens.
But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not pressing any panic buttons for any reason. I don't do that. And people do that. Oh, here we go. Brian's commenting.
Oh, Brian's got a comment. Cool.
Yeah,
hey,
Brian,
do you want to pause for a quick break? We'll be right back.
His comment right now. Thank you, Johnny.
We'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back here on Stirring the Pot.
Thank you, Brian, for the comment. Thank you, Johnny, for giving us the break. Thank you for the sponsors. We love it.
Lou, what do you got coming up this week? Are you doing a story writing on the Cavs and the?
I'll be covering the Cavs. I'll be covering the Cavs, doing some Browns. Interesting enough, did you see the article I wrote about the 48 Browns?
No, I did not read it. So,
okay. Oh well.
So, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was down in
I got
Florida
into it
on
with
vacation.
some Steeler fans. I got into this with some Steeler fans.
Yeah, let's.
All right. Let's just get these guys to shut the fuck up for once. The NFL started in 1919.
Yes.
Okay. Before the early 1930s, the champion was crowned by who had the best record. Mm-hmm. There were teams that had undefeated seasons, but they also had ties on their record. Okay. In 1934, but what brought about a championship game was when teams actually had a tied record, they played each other for it.
Yeah.
And the league noticed all this publicity and buzz for a championship game. So like, we should go to a playoff system. So they started doing that. They started having a championship game. So the next thing, 1934, the Chicago Bears went undefeated into the NFL championship game. And if I'm not mistaken, they lost to the Giants.
Okay.
In 1942, the Bears did it again and lost to the Redskins. So that's 2 times. In NFL, the All-American Football Conference existed from 1946 through the 1949 season. Mm-hmm. 3 teams from that league merged with the NFL. Mm-hmm. The Baltimore Colts, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns won 4 championships, but the agreement, the league at the time, would not recognize any stats or championships from that league. Mm-hmm. They existed, but the league just didn't officially recognize them, including the statistics and everything else. Yeah. In 1948, the Cleveland Browns went 15-0, winning the All-American Football Conference championship.
Right.
And an even more amazing feat, in November 21st, they beat the New York Yankees in New York. On November 25th, they went to Los Angeles and beat the Los Angeles Dons. Okay.
Yes.
Then in November 28th, they went to San Francisco and beat the 49ers. So in that undefeated season, they won 3 games within 7 days on the road.
That's amazing.
That's astonishing. That's unheard of today.
Right.
They did that. Okay. So the NFL last week voted. I don't know. I know it was a majority vote. I don't think it was unanimous. I didn't hear any reports it was unanimous, but they voted to account the stats, the career stats, including Paul Brown's wins, including the championships, including that undefeated season, and Otto Graham's passing yards, Marion Motley's rushing yards, the records, everything. So the Cleveland Browns officially have 8 world championships and an undefeated championship season. There's which is 2 more than the Steeler fans.
Yes, I was just going to say.
And they're trying to say they don't count because they weren't Super Bowls. No, the league said they count.
Yeah,
the league just said they count. Okay?
We've always counted them as Browns fans because we know that they were real championships. And now the NFL is recognizing that because,
And who won the championship their first year in the NFL out of those 3 teams?
The Brownies.
The Browns did, 1950. Who played the defending NFL champions in their first game in the NFL?
The Browns.
And who did they beat? They beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia 35-10. We kicked the shit out of them.
Yep.
Okay, that was the defending championship. So let's just make it a point. Only 2 teams in the history of the NFL that's recognized have had undefeated seasons and win the championship with no ties.
Yeah.
The 1972 Dolphins and the 1948 Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
That is a fact. That is a historical fact.
Yes.
The 2007 Patriots got to the Super Bowl and lost to the Giants. Barely.
Right.
But they lost.
Right.
So by all measurements, right there, we have 8. So the most championships of an NFL team is the Packers with 13, and they existed since 1920.
Yeah.
The Bears have 9. They existed since 1920.
Yes, and so now they're counting. Yeah,
they're counting the Browns with 8.
Yes.
The Browns are 3rd with 8.
Yeah. Okay.
But they say they don't count unless they have Lombardi trophies. I said no, they count. Somebody would say, well, there's only so many teams in the league. That's embarrassing. I said, well, the AFL championships counted. The AFL championships counted with the merger.
Super Bowls, and I don't have, maybe you understand this more, but my understanding that at least the first 2 Super Bowls or maybe the 3rd Super Bowl,
first 4,
they weren't exactly what they are now, right?
No. What the AFL champion played the NFL champion, and when the leagues merged to form the NFL, in the NFL, they formed the AFC and the NFC. At the time, the AFL only had 10 teams, and the NFL had 16 teams. So when they did that to form the conferences, Art Modell pulled off a move to have 3 teams move from the NFL to the AFC, which was the Browns, the Steelers, and the Colts.
Okay.
And that way there was 13 in each conference. And that was when there was 26 teams in the league in 1976. Expansion. You had the Seattle Seahawks. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then the next expansion year was 95, Jacksonville Jaguars, Carolina Panthers. And then the 99 expansion Browns. And I believe it was 2001 or 2002 was the expansion Texans.
Oh, yes.
So that's how we got the 32 teams.
I heard they were talking down in Cincinnati about the Bungles leaving town potentially. Did you see that comment by the local politician there in Cincinnati?
No. Where are they gonna move to?
Well, they said that they have a lot of places that they could go, and the top spots included, I want to say San Antonio, Austin, St. Louis.
It'd be interesting to see if that Art Modell law comes into play.
Well, that's what they were saying. That's
an Ohio law. It's a state of Ohio law. It's not a city law. Yeah.
Right. So, well, anything else, Lou? That's really. I mean, I historically, I'm glad that you brought it up because.
Yeah, I brought it up because I said, wait a second. Well, the thing is, guys, I've been saying this. Okay, since the expansion era started, it's been tough. That's because we got screwed. We got the death penalty. All right. We still stayed fans. We still stayed loyal. We still stayed true. Just remember, 8 world championships, 18 Hall of Famers, and the only fan base in the history of sports to fight to keep a team and win. We are not losers.
No.
If you think you're a loser, you don't belong in this locker room.
Don't stop believing. Journey, man.
Yeah. I'm just saying. No, if you believe it, then you are. So,
well, listen. On the Thursday night, all of us are going to have to communicate that evening.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We can figure that out.
I think Steve probably going live with Sam.
I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do with that part, but we thought we could at least maybe bring some of us who are up at the stadium.
We can
hop on our phone and one.
I'll have my phone in my ear. I've done it before. I think I figured out what the audio issue was. So for me, my auditory, my hearing. But yeah, but seriously, guys, you don't listen to the national media because their heads are up their ass.
Yes.
They don't know their ass from a hole.
Unfortunately, a lot of some of the local media is they're the same thing.
Yeah, because like think about when Jimmy Haslam called that a big swing and a miss with Watson. We were talking about that. You know what? He was being honest, and he said he took accountability for it. He said it was his decision, but it technically, yeah, it was everybody that signed on and was on board with it.
No.
But he says it buck stops with me. He basically said him and his wife, but he blamed his wife too, which is really smart. But he took accountability. He said they tried. They took a big swing and it was a big miss. Yeah. Guess what? That's true. Mm-hmm. He said it was 100%.
No, I think it's exactly what we needed. I mean, that's what we've been waiting for somebody to admit to, and he came out and said.
And everybody flips out, and then I'm like, why? Why are you flipping out? It's true. I mean, right. He absolutely he wrote the check for the guy, and he said it came to him, and I think it was more of his decision than it was Barry and Stefanski's. And they're like, all right, well, you're making us, you're the boss, so they're going to go with it. Mm-hmm. So of course, what I'm interested in seeing, whoever they draft at quarterback, I'm interested in seeing this group draft a guy and develop him and see how it turns out. That would be nice because they haven't done that since they've been here. So whoever it might be.
Well, maybe they take two quarterbacks.
I don't know. They might. Do you think like a Dylan Gabriel?
Well, let's say that they took a Sanders and then they took a Dylan Gabriel, right, from Oregon, or they took a Kyle McCord from Syracuse.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just
I mean, we'd have 3 or 4.
More people think that they would take two running backs, which there's a plethora of running backs. The kid that I had in my mock, I took Devin Neal from Kansas, the Jayhawk. Mm-hmm. That kid, if you look back, and he's just solid, and he would run well in that kind of open zone scheme that the Browns run.
Right. So, right. So guys, yeah, I mean, just that's the reason why, because the reaction that the boss Haslam got, is the reason why you don't hear a lot from Stefanski and Barry, because if they give them anything, they freak out. They just.
Well, it surprises me sometimes, Lou, and you and I talk about this, but like the local media, like Tony Grossi, Mary Kay Cabot, I feel like they're losing it, like they're losing their marbles sometimes. Some of the stuff that they're talking about these days is just ridiculous. I used to listen to these guys, 10 years ago, and I feel like they don't have any more information than any of us do. Like it's a crapshoot almost.
Yeah, they do. But hey, man, we appreciate it. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yes,
2 weeks. The Monday before the draft.
The Monday before the draft.
Yeah, we'll do it the Monday. We'll see what the flavor of the week is that week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be here.
We'll be Browns.
Here. We'll keep playing. Go Browns. Thank you.